Hello everyone, this is the Disney Dude here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, celebrating its 29th anniversary, or 20, I'm sorry, should, let's see, opened in 98. 28, so it's 28 years old today. Just walking around the park, just seeing what remains, and of course what's obviously changing. So I'll flip the camera around and then we'll walk through together real quick. I love these cast members. These cast members make it. I tell you, they absolutely make the parks. So anyway, we're coming up now on what used to be Dinoland USA right here. This is going to be the Tropical Americas land, opening sometime next year. Hopefully, I think they should probably get it open next year. This used to be Dinoland USA, so as you can see, what's replacing Dinosaur is an Indiana Jones attraction right there, and then of course to the right is the restaurant, probably going to be themed to Encanto, but we don't really know that yet. That's not really confirmed yet. And then right there is the carousel of wood carved animals. So where Triceratops Spin was, that's where this new carousel is going. And then right there is the exit shop from Dinosaur. They're going to reuse that as an Indiana Jones shop. And then right here is the new Encanto ride. So the brand new thing that we're getting is an Encanto ride behind the berm of Animal Kingdom. So that's the only thing that they're really kind of building from scratch, is the Encanto ride show building. And then of course the facade and such. But that's really the only thing that they're really kind of expanding. Now obviously we call these expansions, but a lot of stuff that they're doing is not really an expansion. They're just taking over existing plots of land. But Encanto is really the only thing that they're expanding. The rest is Indiana Jones is replacing Dinosaur. Another restaurant is replacing Restaurantosaurus. The carousel is replacing the Triceratops Spin. As you can kind of see over this construction wall here, they're working on this. So we'll just see. It's next says they say 2027. We'll see. We'll see if that works or not. If that comes up, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm excited for this area. As much as I loved Dinosaur, it was a very 90s. It was a very 90s thing. It was a very 90s ride. It was very dated. It was a very 90s attraction. So hopefully with this new Indiana Jones attraction, they'll update some of the ride system. We already know what the ride system is going to be. It's going to be it's going to be the same motion vehicle. It's going to be the same EMV vehicle that Dinosaur had. So it's not a change to anything, but we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm excited for it. I'm excited about that and the Encanto ride. That's something that those are something that I'm really looking forward to. As you can see right here, this used to be where Animal Kingdom used to have a night show years ago. This was obviously pre-COVID. Now obviously they couldn't do fireworks because of the animals, so they had a laser light show. So they would do that. I'm not exactly sure when it closed. I don't remember, but that closed a long while ago. So now, unfortunately, this theater just sits empty. But you can it's nice that they keep it open so you can actually sit down here and just take a break for a little while. And actually, this lagoon is where they had kite tails. So when the theme parks reopened after COVID, they because of the dispute with the Actors Equity Union and Disney, Disney didn't bring back any of its live entertainment. The shows like Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Indiana Jones, Finding Nemo, Festival of the Lion King, they didn't come back. When the parks reopened because of the dispute between the union and Disney. So having a quick little show here was actually, it was kind of nice. I mean, look, I know a lot of people didn't like it. I liked the Jungle Book version of it. I didn't really like the Lion King version of it. I think that the Jungle Book needs more love in Animal Kingdom. But I'm going to turn you around. So actually, right here, this theater right here that holds Finding Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond, actually started out. It was still theater in the wild, but it started out as a Jungle Book show. And this theater was actually not. This theater actually was not enclosed. This theater was actually a outdoor amphitheater. So kind of like in the same vein as Beauty and the Beast, where it was kind of covered. Not really like Fantasmic, because Fantasmic is not covered at all. The outdoor theater. But this theater was like Beauty and the Beast, or Indiana Jones, if you will, where it was semi-covered. So it actually started its life as a Jungle Book show, Journey into the Jungle Book, and then after Tarzan came out, they used to do the Jungle Book got replaced by Tarzan Rocks, which people still miss to this day. People really love that show. And then after Tarzan Rocks ended its run, then they put in Finding Nemo the musical when Finding Nemo came out in theaters, and then that ran for a number of years, and then of course, obviously, again, COVID, shut down, because of the dispute with the union and Disney. They actually, they obviously shut down all of the live entertainment, and then they decided to bring back Finding Nemo, but they decided to condense the show. So the Finding Nemo the musical was actually a 38-minute show. It was a very long show and it was a story show, much like Beauty and the Beast is, where it was a retelling of the film. Now, obviously, Beauty and the Beast, cuts a lot of things out, but Finding Nemo was really the one that really took you through the whole story, step by step. And then when when the parks closed and and the show reopened, they decided to rebrand it. So now it's not called Finding Nemo the Musical anymore. It's called Finding Nemo the Big Blue and Beyond. Which, look, I know a lot of people miss Finding Nemo the Musical. I miss it too, but we're in 2026 now, soon to be 2027. You don't need to explain the whole story to everybody. Everybody knows the story of Finding Nemo. Everybody knows the story of The Lion King. Everybody knows the story of Beauty and the Beast, okay? You don't need to explain the whole story. You don't need to explain the whole story to everybody. And, look, I know that they got rid of a lot of cast members and such because they scaled down the show. So instead of 38 minutes, it's now only 25. But again, I like the show. It's fine. I think it's as good as Finding Nemo the Musical. Is it better? No. But I think in my opinion it's as good as Finding Nemo the Musical, okay? Which that's the rule for theme parks is if you're going to replace something, it has to be better or as good as what it replaced. And in my opinion, I think that Finding Nemo the Big Blue and Beyond is as good as Finding Nemo the Musical. Now, it's not better, but it's as good. So, but anyway, now we just passed by Asia, the Expedition Everest ride, which I can't do. I tried. I did the ride once. It made me very ill, so I can't do that ride. It's the backwards that gets me. Now, it's funny because on the other side of I-4, as we call it, at Universal, they have a ride called Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, and during that part, that coaster actually goes backwards. But surprisingly, I can handle that. I think it's just the right amount where Expedition Everest kind of it's a longer descent backwards, whereas Hagrid's I think is just the right amount. It's not too long, it's not too short. It feels just right. It feels just right. So but anyway, but Expedition Everest, which I know a lot of people love. I love watching videos. I just can't do it. It's a good it's a good ride. I'm not gonna deny that. But it's just one I can't do because it just makes me ill. So it's I'm not saying that it's garbage or anything. I just can't do it. It makes me ill. So that's why I can't do it. But now continuing on through Asia, now we're at Kali River Rapids, which is really the water ride that everyone wants to go on because obviously you get wet, but with Kali River Rapids you get drenched. You get absolutely soaked on. So just keep that in mind when you're riding Kali River Rapids, that you will want to wear your poncho or your rain gear, because it's a very, very wet attraction. You will absolutely get soaked on it. Now, is it Popeyes at Universal? No, but it is definitely a ride where you're going to get soaked. So again, I would do it, on your way out, or at least, in the early morning, or maybe at the very end of your day, because you're going to get wet. You are going to get very, very soaked. So, but we're coming up now on the ride's exit here, which I like Kali River Rapids. It's fine. It's okay. Is it my favorite ride? No, but it still plays into that Animal Kingdom theme of conservation and trying to it's about that conservation effort, and trying to keep the world, trying to make the world a better place. So it fits inside of Animal Kingdom, and that's more than I can say with stuff that's going in now. Now, Indiana Jones, a lot of people can argue whether or not that fits inside Animal Kingdom or not. But Animal Kingdom was actually not supposed to be called Animal Kingdom. It was supposed to be called Beastly Kingdom. So that's why you had rides like Dinosaur, and that's why you had rides like Expedition Everest, because those creatures are non-existent. Now, is a Yeti real? I don't know. I have no idea. But we know that dinosaurs existed. Obviously, a long time ago. So we know that dinosaurs existed, but that was the thing about this park, is that it was it was celebrating the natural world, and also it also had creatures that either don't exist in real life or existed a long time ago. So but that's it. Actually, this is, it actually surprises a lot of people that this is actually the biggest theme park at Walt Disney World. Now, the reason why it's the biggest is it's because of the trails and all of the backstage areas that you can do. So that's why it's the biggest. But actually, it's Epcot that's actually the biggest. If you take out the trails and everything, Epcot is the biggest at 300 square feet. Now, Animal Kingdom is over 500 acres, but that includes all of the trails, all the safari and all of that. So that's why it's the biggest theme park. But that's why it feels so spread out here, is because it's an abundance of space. So so now we're still in Asia. Now this is Feathered Friends in Flight, which I've actually never seen. It's not a show that I do. I did see the show when it was something else, when it was I'm blanking on the name now, but it was essentially the same show, but it had Doug and Russell in it from Up. And then of course, this is the running theme of this, is, when COVID shut everything down and the shows came back, Feathered Friends in Flight got rebranded, so now it is strictly, it is no Disney characters. It is just a show that showcases how Disney's Animal Kingdom care team care for the birds on property. So, I really need to really make time to see that show. I just never have seen it. But here's the Tree of Life and that god awful exit that they built, which ruins the sight line of the Tree of Life. But more on that in a second. We'll come back around to that. But now we're exiting. We're getting out of Asia, and now we're getting into Africa. Now, Africa was actually not built for Animal Kingdom. They actually built this land because of what happened to Festival of the Lion King and Pandora, the World of Avatar. So when we get over to that area, I'll explain that more. But this is now we're in Africa, which of course is where Rafiki's Planet Watch used to be, and where the new Bluey experience is going to be. You're going to take the train, and then you're going to take that to Conservation Station, and then that's where the Bluey experience will be. So, but now we're in the town of Harambe, which is in Africa. So back there, if you can kind of see, I don't know if you can, but all the way back there is where the safari is. I believe that's where the safari always was. It was always back here. I'm trying to remember, but I honestly don't remember what this area was before Africa got constructed. So I honestly can't remember. But I know that the safari was always here. It's a great day to do the safari because it's only a 10-minute wait. It's been 15 minutes all day, so it's a great day to, if you want to kill 20, if you want to kill 22, 23 minutes of your day, you can do that. I would recommend though that you do it this time of year right now, where it's not so hot because the animals are out. A lot of people ride the safari in the summertime, and there are hardly no animals out because it's too hot. So, a lot of people then feel cheated, but you have to keep that in mind. You have to keep that in mind of, in the summer when it's extremely hot here, the animals are not out because it's too hot. So, but now we're at the train station. So again, this is where Bluey, it's not that area, but so that's actually still the train station. You will be, you'll still take the train over to Conservation Station. So what used to be Rafiki's Planet Watch is just going to be I don't know if they're going to rename it or not, but it's going to be Conservation Station. And then that's where the Bluey meet and greet will be. So, Bluey's coming to Walt Disney World. I don't, they put her all the way in the back though, so I don't really know. But, of course, I'm going to be here when the meet and greet opens because, I'm a crazy person, and I'm going to be, because I have to film everything and such. But, I'm going to miss the Animation Academy. It was a nice, and it was really relaxing. It was really, really relaxing. You could take the train over to Rafiki's Planet Watch, and you could spend, half your day there. And it wasn't crowded. It was a nice break from the crowds, and unfortunately, that's not going to be that way anymore. So, they they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that. But I mean, I understand you need to get people back there. You want people to go back there. So I get it. I understand. So, but now we're walking by the restaurant again. I honestly don't remember what was here prior to this. I don't really have a lot of memories of Animal Kingdom. But if someone was to jump in the comments after I post this and say what was in this area before, please do, because I honestly don't remember. I honestly don't remember what was in this area. Now, what I can tell you is Festival of the Lion King, the building that we're coming up now, actually was not here. This building was actually purposely built. So when Animal Kingdom decided that they were going to build Pandora, the World of Avatar, that area took over the space of Camp Mini Mickey. So, and that's where Festival of the Lion King used to be, was at Camp Mini Mickey. And it was kind of like, again, a not fully covered theater. And so when it rained, obviously the shows would have to be canceled. So when they built Pandora, the World of Avatar, they said, you know what, we're not going to make the same mistake twice. We're not going to make the same mistake twice. And they built this they purposely built this theater just for this show, just for Festival of the Lion King. It's still that theater in the round. It's still, it's still that, but it's inside, it's fully enclosed. You can escape from the elements. So they purposely built this theater because of that. So I'm actually glad that they did that, because this is the most popular show at Walt Disney World. Festival of the Lion King is the most popular show at Walt Disney World. So I'm glad that they decided to build an inside theater and say, you know what, we're not going to make that same mistake again, and we're going to build a fully enclosed theater. So, rain or shine, this show can go on, which is absolutely the right decision. Absolutely the right decision. And it was the same thing with Theater in the Wild. Closing up that theater for Finding Nemo was, again, absolutely the right choice. Absolutely the right choice. Because, now you can have shows rain or shine. And if it rains, it doesn't, they don't get canceled. So that's obviously a great decision that they made. But now we are walking into Pandora, the World of Avatar. Now we're getting close to the area, but where Pandora, the World of Avatar is today is where Camp Mini Mickey used to be. So this is where they had a little Pocahontas, kind of like a stage show, and then obviously is where Festival of the Lion King was, and a lot of meet and greets. But we're coming up on this. I honestly, again, I really don't remember if this path was always here. I honestly don't remember. I was only 10. I was only 10 years old when this theme park opened, so I really can't remember what was all, and Animal Kingdom was a theme park that didn't come to, no, we still came here, but Hollywood Studios was our favorite theme park. That's why I have more vivid memories of Hollywood Studios, because that's the park that we spent the most time in. So, you know, and obviously the Magic Kingdom, but so, you know, we never went to Epcot, which I don't know why, but we never did. So we never went to Epcot, so I didn't get to experience that. But Animal Kingdom, we used to come too. But you know, a lot of it, I just, you know, I don't really, I just don't remember. I just don't remember because, again, I was only 10. You know, so yeah, and we didn't spend a lot of time in this theme park. So I honestly don't remember a whole lot about Animal Kingdom, other than, you know, certain things. But now we're in Pandora, the world of Avatar, and this is what replaced Camp Mini Mickey. Now, again, if someone knows for sure, they can comment on this video, but I honestly don't remember where Festival of the Lion King used to be. I don't know. I don't know if it was where I don't know if that's where Navi River Journey is now, or if it was somewhere else in this area. I don't honestly remember. So if anyone has any knowledge about it, please let me know, because I honestly cannot remember. I honestly can't remember. So, but now we're coming up on Navi River Journey, and I have to say that, you know, wait times here at Animal Kingdom today have been actually very low. They've been very, very low, which is great. Now, obviously, when, you know, when Indiana Jones opens and Encanto opens, that's going to be a different story. So, you know, we need to enjoy this while it lasts, because, you know, it's not going to last much longer. We only got the rest of this year, and then next, whatever happens next year. So, you know, sometime next year we're going to get Tropical Americas, and then Animal Kingdom's attendance is going to spike really, really high. So, but let's walk over now to Flight of Passage now. But yeah, only 35-minute wait for Flight of Passage, which is actually really, really, really good. That's really, really good for Flight of Passage. If that attraction is not at a 90-minute wait to 2 hours, that means Animal Kingdom is dead. That means Animal Kingdom is dead. So it's, you know, I really wish that Flight of Passage was built to have a single rider line. It was built to have a single rider line. It's got that infrastructure there. I don't know why they never used it. I guess they just figured that they didn't really need it. They used it a little bit when the attraction first opened, but they have never used it since. So I don't know why, but they've just never used the single rider line, which, you know, I think that they could have had a single rider line. Now, if the single rider line was to skip the pre-shows, then forget it. You get rid of the single rider line, because, you know, cutting out any part of an attraction is terrible. That's why I don't use the single rider line anymore at Rise of the Resistance. Because at Rise of the Resistance, you skip the whole pre-shows and the whole other queue and everything else, and you just go straight to the ride. Which it's like, you know, that's outrageous. That's stupid. You know, if it's someone's first time, riding Rise of the Resistance and they go through the single rider line, they ain't got no idea what's going on. They have no idea. So that's, so that's why I don't like that single rider line. Now, it used to be in the single rider line, you actually went through the pre-shows and you went through the whole 18-minute experience, which I was like, this is great. This is fantastic. I love this. This is great. This is something that I will do every single time that I'm at Hollywood Studios now, because obviously Rise of the Resistance is a very, very, very popular ride at Hollywood Studios. So the single rider line was a good thing when they had it with the pre-shows, and now they don't have it with the pre-shows. Now it's just, now we're just putting you on the ride, and it's like, well, okay, I have no idea why I'm getting in this vehicle. And it's like, okay, I guess we're escaping the First Order. I guess I don't know. Why? It's just it's a very confusing ride when you use single rider. So that's why I don't recommend using single rider for Rise of the Resistance, because they cut out all the pre-shows and you're just sitting there like, I don't know. I don't know why we're in this vehicle. I haven't got any idea. I haven't got a clue. So if they were going to do the same thing with Flight of Passage, where you pass the pre-shows, then I'd be like, okay, that's stupid. That's dumb. Okay? Because the whole idea of Flight of Passage is, you are, the Alpha Centauri expeditions have come up with this new technology of you where you can link to an avatar and you can ride on the back of a Banshee and you can ride around Pandora. So that's what the story is basically. So but and the pre-shows give you that the two pre-shows give you that backstory of of a more evil company, the RDA, and their bad mining conflicts, their bad mining practices and conflicts with the Na'vi, and why Alpha Centauri Expeditions is trying to fix all of that, and they're trying to say that this world should be preserved and saved, which actually fits inside of Animal Kingdom. When they were going to build the Pandora, when they were going to build the Avatar land, we all scoffed at Disney. We were like, that doesn't fit in Animal Kingdom. How is that going to fit? That's dumb. That's stupid. So when they actually came up with that storyline of preserving the earth and making sure that we take care of the earth, and we should all live in harmony together, they shut us up. They shut us up and they knocked our socks off. They knocked our socks off with Pandora, the World of Avatar. And I've never seen I'm going to get laughed at, but I have never seen any of the Pandora movies. I have never seen an Avatar movie. But I don't think I need to see one to enjoy that land. I don't think I need to see one of the films, because the land does a great job of telling you why you're in the land, and it explains that we're that we need to preserve the earth, and it's so I've never seen a Pandora. I've never seen a Avatar film, so it's just not my thing. Same thing with Star Wars. It's not my thing. but I love riding Rise of the Resistance. You know, in my opinion, I don't really need to be a Star Wars fan for me to go on Rise of the Resistance and have a great time. Now look, I know the characters, okay? I know the characters, Kylo Ren and R5 and Lieutenant Beck. I know the characters because obviously because of the ride, but you know, it's other than that, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I don't, you know, it's just not my thing. But I can ride Rise of the Resistance and be immersed in that land and not have to see a film. So, you know, you know, that's another land that I really, really enjoy. You know, as much as I'm not looking forward to Monsters Inc., I think that land's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be spectacular. Again, I am not mad that they're building the door coaster. That's a great idea. The thing that I hate is that they got rid of Muppet Vision 3D. So, and Disney still refuses to tell us what's going in that theater. So, that, you know, that's what makes me so upset. Is, you know, yeah, I'm not thrilled about the. I'm not thrilled about the whatever's replacing Muppet Vision 3D, but I am so excited for the door coaster. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that ride. That's going to be great. But then one more thing that I want to take you through before I end this video. So right here is this is Zootopia Better Together. So I'm not going to go any further because they're doing a show right now, but outside. But so where Zootopia Better Together is today, that's where It's Tough to Be a Bug was. Now I am not a fan of Zootopia Better Together. I don't like the film. Is fine. The film, obviously they worked hard on the film and everything, but it doesn't explain why it's in 3D. It doesn't explain, you know, the whole so let's use Muppet Vision as an example. So because I've already brought it up. So Muppet Vision 3D is this whole thing of Muppet Vision 3D is that Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and the Muppets have created a new form of entertainment that they want to show off to you, and that's Muppet Vision 3D. So you put on the 3D glasses, and it's really kind of making fun of. It's making fun of 3D films because it's you know, it's cliches. It's Fozzie spraying you with the water. It takes everything that we know about a 3D film and it turns it on its ear. So that really works. That really works. It really explained why you were, you know, going into the Muppet Theater, because they had this new technology that they were going to show off to us. Zootopia just doesn't do that. It doesn't. It's just, you know, yeah, we know that these are 3D, that this is 3D, and we'll have things shoot at people and getting sprayed and everything, but it doesn't really make sense. So, you know, and that's the exact opposite of It's Tough to Be a Bug, because It's Tough to Be a Bug was, there was a bug that sprayed you with acid, now obviously water, because he felt threatened. There was the stink bug that was, showing you why she was called the stink bug. And then, then Hopper came in and said that humans are bad and they should be extinct, and he tries to get rid of us. And then at the end, Flick and all of the bugs say that people need to live in harmony with bugs, and because bugs are a good thing. Bugs are a good thing, and it really kind of, again, it cemented that whole conservation effort. Zootopia doesn't do that. There is no conservation method message with Zootopia. So it's just a 3D film that really has nothing to do with Animal Kingdom. So that's why I don't like it. For that specific reason. Now the film was nice. Effects are fine, but it doesn't fit into Animal Kingdom. So that's why I don't really like it. So, but I'm gonna probably end this video. I'm getting on my way out now. I'm probably gonna hop over to Epcot and get something to eat. Here you are. We are, this is a video celebrating 28 years of Disney's Animal Kingdom, which, some of the changes are for the good, some of the changes are not so good. So, but let me know how you feel about this. With this whole thing now, I think that they're starting to kill the aesthetic of Animal Kingdom. Now, look, I have sat here and I've walked through and said that they've actually killed the vibe of MGM Studios, the Disney MGM Studios. They've killed that vibe. If it wasn't for Indiana Jones, that park would have no identity. So, and Epcot's the same way. There's a few things that still tell you that it's still a park where you can learn things, but for the most part, it's not. It's just another Walt Disney World theme park where they can stuff IP in, and because that's the clientele here. That's the clientele. People are not. They think that they think that people aren't going to be interested in learning about stuff or about old Disney movies. So it's only the new. They only want the new. They only want the new stuff. And I think that that's really, really sad. That's really, really sad because you're alienating a lot of us older fans that grew up with a lot of the classic Disney. So I hope that Walt Disney World I really hope that they figure that out, because it's, not everybody loves the same thing. Okay, not everybody. And look, I just gave you some examples. I am not into Avatar. That's not my thing. Star Wars is not my thing. Now I can walk around those lands and say, yes, this is really, really, this is really cool. This is really fun. I love I'm gonna turn around. I love Toy Story. I love that film franchise. The land is garbage. The land is absolute garbage. I hate that land. That land is terrible. They could have done so much better with Toy Story Land. And that was the sign of the times with Bob Chapek. That was the sign of the times where, don't spend a lot of money. We're not going to care about sight lines. Make it cheap. Make it, obviously the money was not spent. The money was not spent. So that's why I have better confidence in Josh D'Amaro leading this, because Monsters Inc. they're gonna pour money into. They're gonna pour money into this Cars area. They're gonna pour money into the Tropical Americas. They're gonna pour money into the villains. So I, as much as some things I don't agree with, I think that the quality is absolutely going to be there. The quality is absolutely going to be there. So, but that's my 2 cents on it. I hope you enjoyed walking around the park with me and celebrating its anniversary, because Disney World's not gonna, wasn't gonna do anything. When I walked in, actually, I found out that because the park opened on Earth Day in 1998, they have always done rare character meet and greets with rare characters that you can't normally meet, like Jane and Turk and a lot of the others. They have gotten rid of that now. They have gotten rid of that. So I think that was dumb. That was stupid. That was absolutely outrageous. I already did my honest review. I've already done a rant about that, so you can go watch that if you want on this channel. But, I think that was dumb. That was stupid. That was totally unnecessary. But anyway, I'm on my way out now. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to this channel for more content. This is my blogging channel. So this is blogging with the Disney Dude. So that's where you're going to find this video. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Really helps me out. I thank you guys very much for watching this video. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you at the next park anniversary, which is just a few days time, because the Hollywood Studios is having an anniversary just a few days time on May 1st. So, but until then, y'all keep each other safe and healthy, and we will see you real soon.